This video is brought to you by me. I'm giving multiple copies away of Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord, not the beta, but the early access launch on the 31st of March. Fingers crossed. So if you want to join, make sure you go and click the link in the description or my pinned comment. It's free, and anyone can do it, unless you don't like Mount & Blade. The beta is gorgeous. Not just the lighting or the textures, but everything in between. Yes, you can see blood splattering everywhere, you can see people getting their arms chopped to pieces, you can see people getting couch lanced and go absolutely flying. But what about some of the smaller details? Everyone looked at the bigger picture, the massive battles and the hundreds of troops on the plains at once. But what happens if we go down to the smaller level? Today I'm going to be looking into some tiny little details about the graphics and maybe some mechanics as well that you might not have noticed if you've played the beta before. But if you haven't played the beta, then you can see some of the cool things and the attention to detail that Tailwoods have put into some of the graphics. None of them are massive, but all of them together make for a beautiful game. These are tiny details that you might have missed in Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord. Plants moving under feet. When you're walking around in Calradia on the battlefield, you may not notice that subtly everywhere you go leaves an effect. When you're on cobbled streets, you'll hear the sound of cobbles underneath your feet, but moving through the woods and plants, you'll see they move to the side. Crouching down, you actually move more plants to the side since your contact area to the ground is a bit bigger. Small blades of grass just get flattened under your feet, but the bigger ones are moved to the side. The even bigger bushes even move slightly as you walk through them, but not quite as much as you would expect, really. But it's a small detail that you might have noticed. Not only can you do that, but also on the deserts and the snowy maps, you'll see that you're actually kicking up snow. Furthermore, cavalry, when they turn around corners at a high speed, will kick up more snow than they would do at a slower speed. This all moves dynamic to the speed that you're going and what direction you're facing and how quickly you change direction. If you look up on many of the maps, you'll see flags, banners, sails, and things like that. And these are all affected by one factor universally: wind. The wind direction changes throughout the game and everything on the map moves with that wind direction. You'll see all the banners flown to one point and all of them change direction at the same time. But often on a map there might not be much wind and you'll see the banners and the flags droop down, and then slowly the wind might pick up and the banners and flags will pick up as well. It's a great effect that really gives the worlds more realism, and it might even come in useful later on. When you're fighting in the heat of battle, you'll hear the screams, the shout, the clash of spears and shields, but what you might not notice is going into indoor areas you'll hear echo, but this is completely affected to the material of the indoor areas. Going into wooden huts doesn't really have much an effect on the sound, but going through stone archways, the bigger they are, the bigger the reverb's going to be. A small touch to indicate the place and moving between transitions and parts of buildings. When you look at the showcase for all the troops in the menu, the armory models have physics. Shooting arrows at different materials have different effects. Shooting arrows at bits of thatch won't have many visual indicators, but shooting arrows into bits of wood will make bark and bits of splinters fly off. The cloth on your troops' armor and the chainmail all have physics moving in time with you marching, and of course are slightly affected by the wind as well. Standing on the stairs actually has proper stances now. The same with slopes. When you're running up the stairs, you're not melding into them anymore, and it's not as glitchy as it was in Warband. And standing still, your character will place a foot on each step, using them as you would in real life. Arrows can be picked up from pretty much anywhere. You can pull them out fences, you can pull them out wooden slats, you can pull them out pretty much anything but not bodies. But on the other side, javelins, axes, and most throwables can be taken out anywhere but including bodies as well. If someone gets hit in the head with an axe, you can wrench that out and throw it back at someone from their dead body on the floor. Furthermore, with a javelin, if it sticks in someone's leg and they go down, you can take that out and use it to defend yourselves in the future engagements. The capes on certain troops lift up more the faster you go on horseback and even running as well. It catches the wind beneath it, and the more wind that's caught beneath it, the higher it goes. A nice little touch indicating to the weather once more in Bannerlord. When someone gets shot with a projectile, especially arrows, they will grab the part that was shot. If it was the neck, they'll be splurting as blood comes out of that part of their body, and they'll grab it with both hands as they collapse and crumple to the floor. If you aren't an archer, you can still pick up arrows. Doing so will give you a quiver to store multiple. When you're playing as an archer and you get to the final 10 arrows in your quiver, they are physically removed and you can see them going down one by one. This is another visual indicator to how much ammo you have left, and you can use this accordingly to how much more you want to be firing. It's also very useful for captain modes, when you have your AI archers and you can't see their number going down in the bottom right to indicate how much ammo, but you can now see a visual indicator of when they're running low, because as soon as they get to that 10 arrow point, you're going to see the arrows disappear slowly from their quiver. Blood is only displayed on the part of body that was hit, or the bit of weapon that you've hit someone with. It's not going to splatter everywhere all the time, although when there's a dead body on the floor, you're probably going to see some blood next to it. But when you get hit on the arm, you're going to have blood on your arm, and it's going to soak into your clothes. Initially, it's going to be very shiny and red, but it's slowly going to soak into a more darker colour on your right arm if that's where you were hit, or if you're hit on the neck, that's where you're going to have your blood splatter. Furthermore, on your swords, only the bit of the swords that has hit the enemy is going to have the blood on. Scabbards have physics. Yes, they bob up and down, not just the back scabbards, but also the scabbards on your sides. And finally, arrows have different noises depending on what they hit. They hit a stone wall, they make a very small and blunt sound. If they hit thatch, they're going to go straight in and you're not going to hear much at all. But my favourite is if they hit wood, you're going to hear that boing sound as they hit, and the shaft shakes with the vibrations as the impact is ensued. They're all the small details that I have for this video, but if you have more you want me to include, stuff that you've noticed throughout the game, make sure you leave a comment. I'm probably going to make more of these videos as I discover new interesting small things that I want to show you guys. But if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel and like the video if you enjoyed it. Join the giveaway if you want a chance to get early access from Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord. But until then guys, I will see you in the next one.